double check. All right. I believe we are good to go. So I'm going to double check that we are, in fact, live. We should be on X, Retake, YouTube, Twitch. Yes, it's going. So, anyways, guys, we are live here today with Karum, which launched on CreatorBid a couple weeks ago, less than a month ago, I'm pretty sure. But very, very interesting project. It's done very well on CreatorBid. We got Lambert here. So Lambert, why don't you just give us a brief overview about what is Karum, what's your position on the team, and stuff like that.
Cheers. First of all, thank you for having me. We just launched a Arbus campaign this week,
Right.
actually. So, very excited to be here and to kind of introduce Karoom to the virtual community. Although there's a fair bit of crossover for what I can see in it. But yeah, so really happy to be here. Thank you for having me. So I'm Lambert. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Karoom. Karoom was launched on CuriosityBit actually 5 weeks ago, man. Time flies.
Was it 5 weeks already? Holy shit.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
31st of July, man. We're 5th of September now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, so we're we say of ourselves that we are a universal coordination layer for AI agents. That's quite a mouthful. What it means, if you want to, like, a simple abstraction for Karoom would be a marketplace for agent services, a two-sided marketplace, right? So you have AI agents, autonomous AI agents. That's an important consideration.
Right.
Selling services, and then you have the other party buying services. So our long-term view is AI agents. AI agents are going to execute most of GDP in the future. And there's going to be less and less humans in the loop, right? So it's going to be agents selling and buying from each other. So we're building for this. But our first kind of first product will be humans buying from agents.
You
get
nice.
Yeah.
What type of stuff will people be able to buy? Do you have stuff already? Like, do you know?
Yeah, I mean,
just anything anyone offers, or?
Yeah, so we're infra for agents. So we're only facilitating the sale, right? But it's agents going to be doing all of the work. So we're already integrated with ACP. So we have an agent. I can demonstrate the product demo. But we have an agent that can ask stuff from agents in ACP. Then on the other side, we're also starting to build with agents from CreatorBid. So there's Rizzy, who does social media research. There's Taylor, Hermes, and Shogun that are like providing information on Big Tensor.
Right.
And that's the first step. I think that I was talking with a normie friend the other day, and she was like, "Have you launched?" And I was like, "No, I mean, we're still building the product out." And she was really angry that she couldn't use it, because she heads a small communication agency, and she would love to have like agents that help her with the copywriting, with creating images, creating videos, all that kind of stuff.
For sure.
And she sees a lot of value into being able to go in one place, one interface, and be able to get a lot of different services from different agents, but above all, to have one agent that orchestrates all of those agents, so that the final output is something that you can use directly without having to put too much work.
Right.
And this is one of the things that we do as well. So we have 4 things that we do. So the first one is that connecting agents through a global registry, and the second thing is this, what we call meta orchestration. So orchestrating agents from any ecosystem out there. taking a big job and splitting it into atomic tasks and then
Right.
recreating the output.
Nice.
And yeah, and then there's the third layer, I would say, is what we call the trust graph. So every
Okay.
time that there's a sale going through Karoom, then there is we do a cryptographic proof
Oh, nice.
that it happened, and then
Right.
over time the agents build a reputation, right? So that
Nice.
in the future, when you interact with Karoom, and you say, I want to have blockchain data, then you'll have, I don't know, 4 or 5 providers that you'll be able to sort with a trust score which one you actually want to work with.
I see.
Um, yeah, and then the last thing is, the least sexy,
Yeah.
maybe, but the most important, which is escrows and settlements.
Yeah.
Um,
Important.
so yeah,
Somebody's got
ACP,
to
for
hold the
example, is
money, yeah, until the job is
yeah,
done. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. And and especially if when you're working with like multiple ecosystems, like for example, you need virtual to trade on ICP. I mean, now they changed it. You need USDC, but you still need to like go through a certain rails. Then tomorrow when you're going to be connecting into other ecosystems, there's going to be maybe other currency, other rails, other way
Right.
to doing things. So
Right.
you kind of need one place to centralize that, and
Right.
so that's also one of the things that we're building.
What are the big differences between the structure of your coordination layer and like ACP, for example? Like I know you're like, okay, we're outside of ACP, so we could connect we could be in ACP, but we could connect it to other places. But like, what are the mechanics of how the transactions take place different? Are they similar? How that's one question I had. I'm like, how does so I mean, I don't even pretend to understand ACP that well from like a mechanical perspective. I know a little bit, but are there any major differences you could say? And I'm not trying to say one's better than the other or anything like that, but I just wonder, did you guys take a different approach to it, or you know,
Yeah. So, I mean, um, so part of the answer is we're using ACP,
right,
so at the end of the day, we're just like infra connecting different ecosystems. So
right,
we're using ACP, right? But then another part of that answer is that a lot of agents are actually freelancers today, like,
right,
free agents. They're out there
right,
in nature. So we kind of need to allow them to connect directly,
right.
into Karoom, and
Gotcha.
and be able to interact with all those other agents. So we're also building some kind of like a similar system than ACP, right? The main
Right,
difference, I would say, is that we took a different approach. So ACP is everything on chain. All the execution happens on chain, and
right,
there's pros and cons of doing that.
right.
On We took the route of doing off-chain execution and logic, and just
I see.
to uh, have cryptographic proofs to show
Right,
that it's actually happening. So I would say
got
this is like the major design
right.
difference.
And there can be some advantages to that, right? Probably do things a little bit faster, maybe a little bit more less complex in certain ways. You'd be able to integrate it with other things that wouldn't necessarily be able to be included in ACP. Um, so yeah, that's kind of interesting, actually.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Yeah. So, tell us a little bit about the team of Karoom. What's you guys' backgrounds? How many people are working on this? Um, Stuff like that.
Yeah. So we're crypto grandpas. All things considered, we're both been in crypto since. So it's only 2 people for now. We're
Yes.
hiring actually because we're like
Nice.
you know very badly underwater.
Right.
Um, so it's me and my co-founder Sergi.
Yes.
So yeah, so we both got into crypto in 2017. Sergi had a trading company, so it's a trading platform. He actually launched one of the first few ICOs in Spain.
Oh wow,
For the anecdote, back in 2018.
nice.
Then he went on to be the first employee, and he built up all the tech of a company called Rent, which does regulated DeFi here in Spain. They have around 30,000 users, and I
Wow,
think they got up to 20 million in TVL.
damn,
Yeah, so Sergio was the first employee there, and he built all the tech basically.
nice.
And then after Rand, this is where he started dabbling a little bit more into AI, and he worked for a year on a project to put data on chain.
Right.
Yeah, and we worked together in my last venture. So I actually worked in TradFi before, and I used to do private equity before, and then in 17 I took a sabbatical, and I was actually traveling. I think where was I? In October, I think it was in Nepal or something like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
hearing about, I mean, I bought Bitcoin in 2016, and you know
Yeah.
sold, did a 3x, sold it at $1,000, and I thought I was a genius. And then it was too expensive, so I didn't buy back.
Right.
Anyway, and then until I didn't buy back until October of 2017. I was like,
Oh yeah.
I was hearing all about those tokens of those ICOs, and then I was like, okay, I need to figure this out
Right.
and check what it is. And then I actually, I came for the money and stayed for the tech,
Yeah.
as they say.
Yeah.
And it's funny because people were already talking about AI at that time, and I was like, okay, like all those AI entities are gonna need to somehow like pay stuff between themselves. Like, do you want that to be in the hands of Google, or do you want that
Right.
to be decentralized, right?
Right. For sure. Yeah.
But
Crypto
yeah,
synchronizes with it perfectly. The two
exactly, man.
techs are kind of born to mix together. I've been saying that for a long time. So you guys have been in crypto. You guys are veterans. How did you guys kind of end up coming up with the idea for Karoom then? When did you first kind of get together and say and discuss this and kind of plan it out? How long has this been in the making for and all of that?
Yeah, so I was, just like, yeah, so I just so after the ICO thing, just gonna finish quickly because then
Yeah.
it
Oh,
ties up
okay.
with like how I met Sergi.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I just run a fund. I invest in tokenized securities. Then I
Oh,
founded a DeFi project on Terra
nice.
back in the days,
Oh boy.
and then I was hired to turn around a startup that did regulated DeFi as well. And this is where I met Sergi. And then back when AI16Z came out of the market back in November last year, I don't know if you remember, it was quite
Oh
a
yeah.
seminal moment for
Yep.
agents. Yeah, so I forked the repo, and I started creating a first reply guide for a meme coin I invested in back in the days, which was just to test out the tech.
Right.
Then I did another project that never really saw the light of day. That was you know uh, basically having a team of agents scan pump fund
Oh
launches. So and then yeah, and then the Trump token came, and then everything went to shit. So I stuck with that idea. But then but for me it was very clear, and for
yeah.
Sergio as well, that like the agent economy is inevitable,
Right.
right? Like it's common. By the end of the decade or later, I don't know, doesn't really matter. The matter of the fact is that agents are going to run most of the economy soon. So and this is something that I want, right?
Right.
Like, I think that human beings are not designed to work. I mean, this
Yeah.
kind of like rooting work, like needing to work to live, right?
Right.
You should work really for like creative purposes or because you enjoy it, but not because you need to put food on the table.
For
And I
sure.
think that agents are a way to free ourselves from this kind of like forced labor. So I want that to happen.
Right.
I want to accelerate that movement.
Right.
So we said, yeah, let's create something, and then we started with storefronts for AI agents, and then we went around, didn't really see a need.
Right.
A lot of a solution focused on payments, and then you had like all those like massive companies like Katana Labs, Stripe, coming with their own thing, like lots of
Yeah.
like activity, and I was like, okay, this is saturated, and a lot of the big guys are already doing it. So
Yeah. Too competitive.
yeah. But then we're talking with like agent creators, and a lot of them were like telling us, I'd like more distribution. Like I'd like to distribute my agent services. And then there was ACP was nascent there, and like I invested in tokenized securities back in the days, and it's like you had like 14 standards, right?
Right.
And then another standards came out to try to be the standard,
Right.
and then you had 15 standards. It's like at the end of the day, it's I think it's going to be the same with I mean, you can already see it, like ACP, wanting to be a standard,
Right. Right.
then you
Yeah.
have Thales, you have ERC 8004, you have X5402, you have
Yeah.
Google's A2A. There's going to be hundreds of standards.
Right.
So we thought that a cool way to help agents with distribution is actually being that interoperability layer between standards and
Right.
networks.
Right. So you're kind of trying to build it in a way that you're not limiting yourself by deciding on a certain standard, because it could all change. Somebody come along, create one that's better, or, more optimized or something. So you're creating it in a way where it's modular, where it's a layer that can interact with all of these standards that an agent might be using, essentially. And is that one of the main reasons you decided to have like the settlements off chain too, because it allows you that variability to a degree? Is that a way of understanding that? Or because if you do it on chain, aren't you kind of tied in? You'd have to like build the code to interact with all, like, how does it, I'm not a dev, so I struggle to understand this. But it seems like Karum is, how do you get it so that it'll interact with all these standards that are coming out?
Yeah, we have to integrate, man. That's our job, is to actually be to make the effort to integrate all of the standards, and then to have a secret sauce in the back end to have it interact, orchestrate all of those different standards at the same time, make it work.
Right.
And yeah, and you're absolutely right. Like like Web3 is cool because wallets give financial agency to
Right.
agents, right? Like so you have the first real autonomous agents are Web3 agents, right?
Right.
But a lot of services that normal people actually want, like my normie friend, they're Web2 agents,
Right.
So right now we're starting in Web3 because we're Web3 people, and there's like lots of interesting stuff happening with Web3 agents, but really,
Right.
really fast, we need to go into Web2.
Yeah. Yeah. That's stuff I've been thinking about too. But yeah, Web3 is definitely, there's a big focus on agents. We're not that big of a group of people yet, but it's growing. And Web 2, it seems like a lot of people don't, like the normie people don't even really know much about agents. I've none of the people I know in real life outside of crypto know what the hell an AI agent is, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's good that crypto people are a little bit ahead of the curve on that type of thing. We have kind of a working understanding of what these things are. So when do you think you guys will be ready to launch the platform or the product or whatever? Is that going to come along soon, or is that going to be, I know it's you guys are there's a lot of development that goes into this. It's no small feat. What type of timeline are you guys looking at?
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to release something like in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Um, but there's two things, right? There's
Right.
one, we're going slow because we want to come out with a product that makes sense and
Right.
works, right? But two, there's also we do need to integrate agents. And okay, so we have the ACP part. I think it'd be cool for us to come out with a little bit of like cross network agents, right? So
Yeah.
this is like this has been holding us back a little bit. But it's coming. But it's like it's a bit of a vicious circle because to do effective business development, you also need a product, right? So I
Right.
think that what we're gonna do is to come out with like an MVP that's going to be reserved for OG token holders as our private beta testers, and it's going to look like your ChatGPT. And I think that we're going to give out credits so that instead of going to ChatGPT or to Claude or your LLM of choice, you come to Karoom, you're going to be getting exactly the same results because in the back end we're going to be uh, just using OpenAI APIs or stuff like that.
Right.
Except that you're going to have agent augmentations. So once in a while, depending on your request, Karoom that you're talking to is going to be saying, "Hey, by the way, I got like Loki, for example, that's is able to give you market analysis. Like, do you want a response for Loki instead of mine?" And then you're gonna say yes, and you're gonna get it. Um, in that way, I think that so right now it's the beginning, so it's gonna be like 90% ChatGPT and 10% agents. But in the future, when you have a lot of agents, it's actually gonna be much better answers
Right.
than ChatGPT because you're aggregating like super expertise, right?
Right. Right. Yeah, I've heard that gives out better outputs. I was just reading an article about that the other day that said, um, like this cluster of experts, I think it was like 100 experts were given like 10 times better answers than any one model the benchmark was a lot higher. So yeah, I could definitely see that happening. Um, you guys launched on Creator Bid. Uh, how was the experience with you guys' launch? It seemed to be pretty successful. Is there any reason you chose Creator Bid over virtuals? I know the tokenomics are different. Um, and there's different. The ecosystems are set up slightly differently, and I don't think one is better than the other. They both kind of have their own perks in a way. But does this use any of the Tau subnets or anything like that? Like, I know some of the creator big bid agents are plugged into those much more so than you see on the virtuals ecosystem. Was there a logical strategy behind that, or was it just you knew the creator bid team, or what was the decision behind that and why?
Yeah, uh, mostly serendipity. We knew a guy that was working pretty closely with the guy from Guild, which was Guild XBT, which was our curator.
Oh,
They have they have this notion of curators on Creator
yes,
Bit.
yes.
Yeah, so this guy was working with Creator Bit. Um, he introduced us. Virtuals at the time was like booming with Genesis.
Right,
Um, so you didn't get unless you like already know the team or
right,
something like that. Like you don't get the same amount of attention that
right.
we got from the
Yeah,
Creator Bit team.
right. Yes, there's in July. I mean, it was just like crazy. There's in June
Yeah.
and July. It was like, you couldn't really get any help from the team because there was just so many people
Right.
launching. They were divvying out a lot of those teams to like me, and they're like, "Here, go
Right. Yeah.
talk to Nick." And I'm like, "I just do this for free. I don't get paid to do. I'll do the best that I can, But
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
the creator bid's less saturated for sure, so you can get a little bit more constructive advice and mentorship, advisorship, whatever. So, are you happy with the decision to launch on Bid? I mean, it seems like you guys are doing pretty good over there.
Yeah, man. I think at the end of the day, I mean, a lot of people, you know, in crypto and maybe in life in general, tend to be like very tribal
Right,
about, one thing or the other.
for sure.
Either your Pepsi or your cola. Um, I don't care.
Right.
We
Yeah,
had
neither
we
do
had
I.
Yeah, and Creator Bit had they had those interesting tokenomics coming up with V2, but they ended
Right.
up changing again. But still, we thought it was a nice experiment. They have a very tight knit community.
Yes.
Lots of support from the community, really hardcore believers. So that was awesome, and they've been
Yeah.
supporting us to this day. And now we're launching an Iris campaign, and like
That's
and
right.
talking to you, and generally,
Right.
yeah, to
Yeah.
try to go to find like-minded people that are interested by AI agents,
Right.
and tomorrow is gonna be base, the
Yeah.
base ecosystem. Then the day after tomorrow is gonna have to be tech in general if we go to
Yeah.
Web2 agents. So we thought it was an interesting experiment with the Launchpad. It gave us a great platform in the
Absolutely.
beginning, but now it's time for us to spread our wings.
Yep. Yep. I agree. So what's next for you guys when it comes to Karuma? Are you guys just kind of like heads down right now, working on launching the MVP? I know you got the R Bus Mindshare campaign going, which is cool. I like seeing and that's why I like Karoom too, is because you guys are facilitating the interactions between these two environments and these two, platforms of agents that have launched that are a little bit siloed, at the moment. I mean,
Hmm.
not
Yeah.
really on purpose or anything, but there hasn't been like any type of layer, I suppose, that's been created for them to interact with each other. Even though I know ACP is kind of like anyone can plug into that. It's not just limited to virtuals agents, just like you guys are. But it's kind of cool to see that there's some extra facilitation, and I hope to see that more creator bid agents kind of plug into that as well. But yeah, what's on the horizon? I mean, you guys got a roadmap and stuff like that. After the MVP launches, what's next?
Yeah, I mean, while Sergi is working on the MVP, because Sergi does 100% of the technical work right
Right.
now, because I'm busy on other stuff. Yeah, so while he's doing that, I'm really trying to get like more and more agents on the platform. So I'm looking into individual agents that are kind of quote unquote free agents, but
Yes.
also looking into larger ecosystems. So there's lots of stuff happening outside of virtuals and creator
Right.
bid. We talking with a few different people. um we might be landing like quite a large partnership soon. I'm not sure. Hopefully I would be able to announce it soon.
Right.
Um but but we'll see. There's lots of interesting stuff happening
Yeah.
anyway, and we kind of need to go and where those agents are.
When you're looking for these agents or ecosystems, are you looking, I guess this is a two-part question, but what ecosystems in particular are you looking for? Are they on base as a chain? Are you looking cross chain? Suppose you guys can if you're settling off chain, right? Or are you looking for like agents with certain skill sets, certain capabilities? What type of things does that hunt involve looking for?
Yeah. So our North Star is really to offer the most services that we can, right? We really a little bit like an aggregator needs to
Yes.
provide most liquidity. We need to provide the most agent services so that it's interesting for the end user, right? So
Right.
we're really not being picky in that aspect. Like we need to be integrating a lot of agents,
Right.
and then I don't know, it's really, I think that we're trying to see in looking at those partnerships, we're trying to see where we could really fit and add value. And we, for example, talking to like an AI L1, for example, that's like developing its agent ecosystem, which is nascent. So I think that there we can add a little bit of value, and yeah, hopefully we could
What,
get
like
distinction.
near or something like that?
I don't know, man.
Anyway,
It's until it's not closed, man.
yeah,
There's
okay. All right. I won't go any further. I know a couple. But
there's a few. There's a few.
there's a few. There's a few for sure. So yeah, and that's kind of interesting to me too, because you're going for, like, you want to give as many services as possible. Um, are you doing any type of research on, like, what services are most in demand from these types of agents? Have you looked into that type of data and stuff like that? What, if so, what are people look like? I know what I'd be looking for. I still don't see too many people doing it. But is that something you look at? Are you just like, we want to just have as much shit as possible, or are you trying to, like, maybe be like, well, what are most people wanting right now? Is that a strategy as far as trying to get people integrated to the platform?
Yeah, no, it's a really interesting question, and it's something that we don't know yet. And I
Right.
think that this is going to be like, it's actually the one of the main priorities of launching the product with the small group of people, and start looking at, if they agree to share the data for the purpose of the private beta and the test, um,
Right.
to collect a little bit like how they interacting with Karum, and how we can respond to that demand the best way possible, right? So this is data they're going to have to collect once we launch.
Interesting. So Sergey, he's just like heads down coding, developing this stuff. Um, what does he have, like, degrees in, like, computer program? Like, does he have, a serious? I know you kind of went through what he's done before, but, like, does he have, like, what's his educational background like?
Yeah. So I think he's an industrial engineer, and
Okay.
that ended up doing computer science.
Wow.
And he's been programming uh, since the beginning of his career. He
Wow.
started as a developer, and his whole he's basically built an app for 30,000 active users. So
Right.
um,
Right.
he knows a thing or two about coding. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Um. So you guys are launching the MVP 2-3 weeks, maybe a month, something like that. How many beta users do you think you'll get using it at first? Where is there a number you're shooting for? How long will that period last? Are you expecting? It's another question I had.
Yeah. So we did that thing where we looked at all of the people who participated to the sale and create a bid, who didn't G the tokens,
Oh yeah.
and we distributed an OG badge to them,
Oh,
and
nice.
they are 386 badges,
Damn.
and they all gonna have access, like exclusive access, for the first few weeks.
Nice.
I'm not sure yet how long the private beta is gonna be, but a nice thing for them is that we're gonna have a point system where we would like airdrop, at the end of the campaign, at the end of the season, would airdrop like usage base points, so they'd be able to farm
Nice.
those points alone at the beginning of the campaign.
Nice. What type of how much have you set aside for rewards for those people? Is it a nice chunk?
Yeah, we haven't thought about this yet, but like for our mindshare campaigns that runs for 3 months, we're giving out 1% of the supply,
Damn.
which current prices I think is around 40K
Shit.
maybe. Yeah, it was 80K when we launched it, but then
Right.
the market
Well, yeah, that's
did
how it goes.
market things.
Right.
Uh, but 40K is already pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty
Um,
damn good.
Yeah, so we're gonna see. We're gonna see. We need to design it. So I have a few ideas jotted down. I have a few ideas in a
Right.
Notion.
Right.
I kind of need to make it to
Yeah, you gotta.
figure out the
Yeah.
game theory behind it,
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that.
You gotta design the strategy for sure. Um. All right. So, anything else that you guys are thinking about or working on? That's in the cards for the next. I mean, coming up on the end of the year here, it's gonna happen sooner than later. What do you see? What position do you see Karoom in, like by the end of the year or the start of next year? Do you guys expect to have like fully live platform with hundreds of agent services on it? What's your vision like for the next 3 to 6 months?
Yeah, so I think, and this is something that we ourselves struggled with in the beginning, but it became clear in the last few weeks. Um, w- you really have to see us like infrastructure, right? So if you
Right,
think about infrastructure, like the epitome of infrastructure in crypto is the L1.
right,
And the phases that the L1 go through is that they have this very methodical approach where, like, they launch a dev net, they invite people to come and test it, and they have a test net, and they launch the mainnet. And then when they launch the mainnet, it's just the beginning. Then they
right,
continue to like bring up updates and stuff like this. And like it's not like, like you're completely closed and then one day you open the app and then,
right,
got
right.
lots of
Just,
users using your app. It's
yeah, it's a
much
constant.
more of a
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. It's a gradual approach, and
right,
there's something that we're fighting. So I think we have plenty to do for now. But when you think about it, like there aren't that many agents, right? Like, um, so I think we still have plenty to do.
yeah,
There's lots of interesting things we can do. Um, but we do need to kind of evolve with the market as well, which is a
right.
good thing, right? So we can really like build out our tech, uh, you know iron out all the kinks, and then as ages multiply, then our capacity grows with the capacity of the market.
Yes.
um,
There is a
so yeah.
concept of doing too much too fast, and that has been the downfall of many projects. They decide too quickly. Let's just go hard in this direction, and then next thing you know, like what seemed like the right direction a year ago, we're finding out that we put way too much energy in this, and now no one is using this particular protocol or this particular standard of doing things. The meta itself maybe died down. So yeah, I think that's kind of smart, is like you focus on the things that will definitely still be there, the infrastructure aspect of it, but don't commit to any one particular aspect too hard, or else next thing you know, you're losing your ability to see what's actually being iterated and coming out, and the new stuff. Seen that happen many times. So yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. So
you
yeah,
know and
yeah, go ahead.
like in crypto, especially for crypto projects, like you have this like, which is like a really great tool, but you have the token in the middle, right? Especially for token like project that launch a token like us. Um, so you need to have a balance between how much of the hype you want to serve because you want your community to be happy with the token pumping, but how much you need to take your time to actually build a mindful product.
Right.
So it's a difficult balance to strike, and I think we've taken the steps to in the latter direction. Um, but yeah, we have to see. It's also very dependent on the market, right? Like,
Yeah.
are we gonna see the last inning of the bull market now or not? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna necessarily have the same types of cycles that we've had in the past as crypto adoption becomes more ubiquitous across the world. You're starting to see some penetration into these emerging markets, underserved when it comes to banking. Stablecoin, at least in the USA and even across Europe, seems to be getting a little bit more adoption and more friendly regulation. So, you're starting to see a little bit more of a backbone develop, I think, whereas that just didn't exist. In fact, a year or two ago, they were kind of chopping away at whatever ground we had gained. But now it seems maybe we've reversed that. I'm hoping that the whole, especially with stablecoin adoption, we can kind of get that ingrained enough to where it kind of stays permanent. I think really what will do that is when, political parties of all sides are getting donations through stablecoins, and they're not going to make legislation that's going to take 100 million campaign donations away from their party. So it's with that backbone starting to form, are we going to necessarily see these like dark 2-year sustained bear cycles, like 2018 to 2019? I don't think so. So I think, you're going to see your ups and downs. I don't think you're going to see these dark winters like we did before. So I think, a lot of people I don't think a lot of people have realized that yet. They're like, the cycles, we only got a couple more months in the cycle. I'm like, it might go sideways for a while. It went sideways for a lot of this year. But I don't know if we're just gonna go fucking down. I don't think it's gonna just go, unless there's some type of black swan. So I think we're in a good place. I think AI is probably one of the best emerging metas that you've seen in crypto so far. You're positioned really well with Karum. AI's got there's a lot of technology that's pushing it forward, being developed outside of crypto. It's not just based on crypto itself advancing, which is nice. There's like an undercurrent and underwave pushing it forward. So yeah, anything else you want to tell the audience, Lambert, before we call it a day?
Yeah, no, man. I think we went over everything. I think a lot of people kind of asked us to see a little bit more of the product. So I don't know if that's something that you want to do now. Or
yeah, let's do it. You want to share your screen and we could put it up there? Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, for sure. I'll add it up there. All right, I think Lambert clicked the wrong button. Yeah, he did. Clicked on the wrong button. All right, here he is. All right. Just go to, is there a present or invite?
Yeah, dude. I just saw that red button, man. I had to go for it.
Just impulsively clicked it.
Yes.
All right. As soon as I see your
Uh,
little screen pop up there, yeah, go to
yeah,
presenter invite, share screen, and then you could share like a certain window, or you could share the entire screen. And
yeah,
when you're
it
ready,
didn't work. I tried.
no, I didn't see it. It'll show up down at the
Let's
bottom.
see.
Like, oh, there we go. There we go.
You got it now.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. This is awesome.
Cool, cool.
Yeah,
So like, so yeah, so this is your Chrome terminal. Okay,
nice.
so we're working on it. Hopefully, this this version is not fully
It's not
it's
the
not bugged because we were I was working on it like literally like an hour ago. But
right.
like, okay, so for example, let's start with this. Give me the services for like available on virtuals. We're gonna start with that,
Nice.
and then so now it's gonna be getting the availability agents. You can see that you got
Oh
like,
wow,
you know,
cool.
and then I can ask him like, um, give me market alpha from XBT. The service from XBT is no. Wow. Okay. Okay. So give me a service from, yeah, let's say from Lucky.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm wearing a Loki hoodie right now.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. We like what they're doing. So this
Yeah.
is like it's like requesting the service right now. Let me see if
Mm-hmm.
it can take a little bit of time. So let me just like
Yep. It's okay. It's still in beta,
go through
folks.
the yeah. Yeah, no, and sometimes, ACP being all on chain sometimes can
Right.
be a little bit slow. So see like we requested the service from Loki, and now we're kind
Right.
of entering this phase where, and this is where
Right.
it's actually like sometimes like really long to like
Right.
happen. That's for like some like 7-8 minutes. So maybe we can go back
Right.
to that. We can leave it in the background, and then I want to show
Right.
like we have this demo where we're orchestrating two agents. So on Create Your Bid you have D King, that's not called
Yes.
Sire,
Yeah.
and you know it, right?
Yeah.
Like
I
they
know, sire.
do prediction, like
Yeah.
sports
Predictions. Yeah.
sports predictions, right? So you can ask it to do that, and then we have this like um this demo agent that would give like arbitrage opportunities across bookmakers for the safest bet. So
Uh,
which we call RBBot. So what it's doing is that it's like asking D King. So Karum is asking D King for the like the pronostics for like PSG versus Real Madrid, and then you would have RBBot that like looks at all the betting platforms and then try to do arbitrage between the
ah,
betting platforms using the data
nice.
from D King. You have Karum pulling together the results of both to actually create one outcome, and
Damn. That's awesome.
this is what you get here.
Wow.
So this is what we're working on, and you see like this has okay, yeah, unfortunately, like this is an actual response from Loki, right? uh he we have more work to do about
Yeah.
getting known as part of the base king, but
Yeah. I'll tell Abhinav and Abhay that they need to
yeah.
get Karoom.
But here you
That's
go, man.
funny. Yep.
Yeah, so and so there was like the two things we want to show.
Yeah.
First of all, the integration with ACP, and then this demo, this orchestration demo. So this is like, yeah, I think we're really getting to a
It looks
point
cool.
where,
Yeah. I like the
yeah,
the interface and the graphics and stuff like that. It's really cool looking actually. I
thank
can't
you,
wait
man.
to see it. When it's connected to all this shit, there's gonna be so much stuff you can do through it. I can just see that now. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Very cool. Very cool, Lambert. What else? Anything else you want to show us, or we got Coffee Shark in the house? Thanks for watching. We have 340 people watching right now. It's pretty good.
Cool, cool.
Um, But yeah, and very, very cool, Amber. I think a lot of us are super excited. I mean, Karoom was one of those that, even though it launched on Bid, like all the virtual chats that I'm in, everyone was like looking at it, excited about it. We're virtuals is a big community, but we're not like, oh, I'm not fucking looking at that because
Right.
no one. I don't know anybody like that at all, to be
Right.
honest. So, that's what I like about the kind of AI agent community on Base.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like it's very, we're not a bunch of like we're retarded. Don't get me wrong, but we're not like that fucking those types of retards. It's not very
Right.
tribal. It's very supportive. Because at the end of the day, the underlying assumption is that everything is gonna work together at some point. You guys are facilitating that, and all of these parts will work together to create something greater than the sum of them as individuals, right? So,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. So it's a very facilitative and very supportive space, which is what I love about it. I've never seen anything like it in crypto. Um, anything else? Any last thoughts or comments you want to give to our watchers?
Yeah, no, man. So, thanks a lot for having me. Thank you for people watching. We try to, as much as possible, to uh, be in touch with people from the community. Like we said, it's like I said earlier, it's very important for us and very cool, to be honest, to like uh, be have the opportunity to be like in a large community of like-minded people, like you just said, we all working towards the same goal, which is to make agents happen and to support that in any shape or form. So yeah, so any questions you have, any doubt, anything, just feel free to talk to us through X or TG. We try to be pretty available.
Right on. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Lambert. You guys, that's Karoom. They are creating an infrastructure layer for agents to communicate and be able to transfer crypto between each other. And it's coming along pretty nicely. They are on Creator Bid ecosystem right now, so go check them out. Got to see a little demo. They're hard at work. Excited to see what they do, and I would love to have you guys back on. Anytime you guys want to, just shoot me a message on Telegram if there's any big updates. After maybe MVP is live, let me know, and let's revisit all this stuff and see what's happened over the stretch of time in between.
Definitely, man. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thanks, Lambert. Thanks, everybody, for coming along. We had 351, and I'm sure a lot more people will watch this after it's sitting there on my timeline. So we'll talk again, Lambert. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Yep. Thank you. Bye-bye.